We can start
Hello,
now.
and welcome to the fourth and final day of Sallay International Academy Open House. So, for those who missed the previous days, you can find them on our social media, the recordings of live events we had that were dedicated to our mission and vision and values and how we teach and whom do we teach, where do we teach, what we believe in, and why we do it so well. And today we are here today to talk about all stuff non-academic, what we could broadly describe as extra
Students'
curricular,
life.
extra studies, um, extracurricular part of life, students' life, daily life, community life. And my name is Anna Kadiva. I'm the principal of Sallay Academy, and I'm here today with my colleague Aloka Molokova, who is our lead of academics, and she will hopefully answer a bunch of questions about non-academic things. So, because, they all are well incorporated and allow us approach students in a wholesome, holistic manner. So,
Let's
I
go.
don't, as a lead of academics, how would you describe the extracurricular activities that we offer at school, that our students get exposed to and experience when at Leslie?
Yeah, so aside from the academics part, which is of course the core part of the school, we do care a lot about what students do outside of their classes, how many opportunities they have to, express themselves, develop their, personalities, to just, establish all those social connections and all these. So we do care about that a lot. And generally, we believe that it actually adds to the educational experience. So the educational experience is not only your time in the class, but your time outside of class is also extremely important in your general, school life. So there are some things that are pretty much structured things that we offer, and there are some things that are not necessarily planned ahead of time, but are being brought to the schedule as we go. So if we start with the structured and planned things, we do have clubs at school, and clubs are run during every study day, so students can attend those clubs every day, and they're mostly run in the beginning of the year by counselors and teachers, and those really vary, starting from sport clubs and art clubs, up to history club, up to poetry club. So there's a huge variety of what you can do. Though we do really encourage students, and this is actually what happens by the end of the year naturally, that they can run their own club. We really encourage them to bring their passion or expertise to school, and to give as well, not only receive from the clubs. And there are a lot of students who bring, say, you come to the school, you say you love D&D, playing D&D, or you love playing music or something like that. You do have an opportunity here to actually turn it into a club and run it as a club. And you will have to come to us, pitch your idea, and we'll make sure that you have everything you need to do that. So this is one thing, and that is pretty much structured. It is already embedded in every on-site session that we have. On the side, we do really like to focus on things that our students and their families bring with them. So we do have a lot of students of various backgrounds, various interests, various, native languages. And we do want to, highlight that as well. So say if there is a particular year when the student comes, this is actually how, one of the examples of that is, this is how the Sallay newspaper, student newspaper started, when one student just came to school and said, well, I actually really want to try myself as a journalist, and this is something I would like to do. Well, try in life. And on the one hand, we could have said, well, great, good luck. And though we really try to do, if we can apply it to something, if we can provide an opportunity for the student to actually do it here, like right here in the school, this is something we do. So we started the newspaper with that student. So we planned the whole thing out. We set some, deadlines and goals, and it ended up being a whole newspaper team. Yeah. So things like that.
Sounds exciting, and sounds that we offer, which we actually do, a lot of opportunities to our students to try themselves in something new, or maybe experience something they haven't necessarily experienced before joining Sallay. Do we offer any specific opportunities and, options to those who have something, their thing that they do by the time they join school, that they don't want to abandon? Say they do sports, or play a music instrument, or have a hobby they're extremely passionate about. How do we deal with that?
So we make sure there are a lot of students who come to us already being, taking some classes professionally, or being within some, field of already, like we have students who play music professionally, we have students who do professional sports. We used to have a student who sings, well, this is practically also music. So we make sure they don't have to, miss that for those 3 weeks of the on-site. It's important for us to, first we always make sure we provide a space and time for them to practice, so that they have, by this point, we have so many students practicing their instruments, so we have a special room dedicated to music practice and sport as well. Though we don't have any or much of really professional sport equipment on site, though we do have a lot of space, and we do have some sport equipment so that they can use. And we make sure that during the sport time, like the dedicated sport time, that they can practice, their sport as well. They can do their own, personal workout that they are assigned to do. So those are those things. We had a person who been doing ballet professionally, and they've been having they've been joining the live classes with their ballet group while being at on site here. We just provided space for that. So things like that. I would also like to, I guess, add to that it's not only that we try to find out, those things that about each student that they like to do or they already are doing, but we have kind of a platform at school where students can bring their, ideas, their initiatives. We do have a student council in school, being elected in the beginning of the school year, being re-elected then through the school year. So, and this is something students take pretty seriously. So they prepare for the election. There's an actual election, and we have several members of the school council. And what school council can do, and we also have a lot of conversations with them about what can be done at school, what can be added to school within this year, within this very cohort of students. What else, what are we missing, or what can we improve, or what can we edit activities wise, or generally we say, it looks like we don't move enough in school. Like, we don't have enough physical activity. Can we add something, encourage people to move more? What we can do that. Maybe we offer them, to do morning runs before breakfast or something like that. And this is something that we're really work hard on, being not only coming from us, but coming from the students as well. So we are doing it in a dialogue, in a conversation with the student constantly.
Yeah, lovely. Thank you. And just to wrap up the topic of extracurricular, I would say, activities, for you as for academics lead, what would be maybe one or two favorite or brightest or kind of cases of such projects that you would be the most proud of? What comes to
Yeah,
mind?
honestly, I believe that there is actually a vague line between the academics and formally non-academic activities. Say if students gather to practice math in their spare time and do, cool math, solve cool math problems, is it really non-academic? Or if students decide to make a YouTube channel, like this case from our students as well, to make a YouTube channel on history and, record those videos on cool historic topics, is it really extracurricular and not educational? And even those things like we had something that I really enjoy. I'm not sure if it's my favorite or not, but that our students plan on their days off, they plan some meals, and it's being, already by this point a tradition or recurring thing that they make breakfast for the whole school. There is a particular group of students making breakfast for the whole school, and they plan it. And by this point, sometimes it's super fancy and has a ton of ingredients and a lot of parts in that. So I would say actually many of them come back to us after and said, well, the management of that whole thing and making all the calculation of how much and what do we need, and conversations with everybody. We need to agree on things, to get permissions from the kitchen, to get enough people to help, all that. That was a huge, lesson in management and planning. So I would say those things I love those things because I honestly believe they are a huge part of education as well. Not only classes are a part of education.
True. I agree with you here, and I'm glad that we share this vision. So, we had a bunch of questions that we have received, and they generally kind of reflect an overall concern that people often have when they hear of our model, which is my kid joining Sallay or I myself joining Sallay would have to spend a few months online, being all alone in my room in front of my laptop. Will I not be cut out of the whole world? How will I manage this? How about social life and generally peer-to-peer interactions? So maybe you could make a comment here.
Yeah, so that's actually a good point, because it is an actual experience of many online schools where students just come to online classes, but they're really isolated, like socially isolated, studying online. What we have here, and we've been working for several years to establish that, and I love how it's working right now. I do actually believe that the online sessions for our students is in a way also enriching their social life, and I will explain how. So we have students from pretty much all over the world. For many of our students, that's quite a unique experience that they get to have friends from all over the world. And when they go back home, go back to their countries where they live, they do stay connected. And they do have the online server where they chat, and they do stay connected through the whole online. And we are in that server, and we actually will have to mute it at some point because there's too many messages. and they get to talk almost every day with a person from a different country, with a person, you know, sharing life, sharing what they had for breakfast. This is one of the things they do. You know, just sharing, like, we went to that cool place today, or this is something, this is my weather right now in, I don't know, in New York, and this is the weather in Barcelona. And they get, this shows them, like, every day they see this bigger picture of the world, and they also need to keep track of, you know, what time is it in what part of the world, why this person is not answering, oh, actually because it's too early for them. So by the end of the, you know, this is one of the skills that I'm actually proud of, or in every student in our school have. They are aware of the time zones, and they're pretty good with those time zones. Maybe not super accurate, but they know, okay, if it's in US, it means that probably it's middle of the night right now. If it's in
They're
UK,
better than, they're definitely better with it than an average time zone user.
oh yeah, oh yeah. So yeah, and this kind of thing, and of course it's digital, of course it still says digital, but I do believe that it really depends on the personality of the child, of the student, if they tend to, you know, live a more active life, I don't know, go out a lot, or they generally tend to kind of you know, stay at home more. It would vary, but I would say even for the students who like to go out, who like to chat, that was not a limiting experience that they have to stay in front of their computer, but it was also an enriching one, because even after they finish their classes, they go out, they still have the whole group of their friends in their phone, sharing, you know, guys, we are going to this amazing museum in our city today. Like, let's
Yeah.
show you where we are. So these kind of things, and I do believe that this is amazing, like, to have this online, to have this active cohort online who are always there, and who always want to chat, who always want to know about your life, and they're really supportive in the way in learning as well, because every day they ask each other questions about classes, they ping each other when someone's late to class, and if someone's late, all of them are starting, you know, hey, where's this person today? So there is really pretty much no way for them to stay completely quiet and isolated unless they really don't look at any of the any of the chats.
So yeah, um, that's exactly what happens. And it is pretty exciting. And I guess maybe, the last topic that comes to mind when we think of it is the topic of what, like, you now keep telling how awesome it is to be part of the Sallay community, and how much opportunities we offer to members of this community. But um, could you please mention something or say something about people who become too old to be at Sallay, who graduate from us and move to some other schools, high schools, and then even further to universities, and or how you call them, colleges in the US. So what do we do with those elderly people?
Yeah, so we're pretty much lucky with those, because it's always a bummer that they have to leave. I mean, that they have to leave when they turn, you know, high school age.
Yeah.
So we're pretty lucky that they actually don't uh, completely leave. So they stay with us for a while. We do have, I mean, we do have a program for that. The actual, like, program dedicated to alumni still staying a part of the school community after, because that's a pretty, you know, that's a great, vibrant community from the whole world that you still have. It's something that you really don't want to lose. Going to a local school, you will have mostly local people. You really want to keep that community from across the world, and that happens after school a lot, that people do travel specifically to see each other in different countries. People do visit each other, people do make trips together. So, like, you always know that you even live in say in Spain, you always know you have a friend in New York that you can visit at any point that would be happy to host you and see you, and vice versa. So we do have a program for also, aside from just general friendships that and bonds that are being formed, we have a program for alumni. And this is the volunteer program that they devote their time to helping with several things. And one of the greatest thing is they're helping with the current students. So they do mentor the current students. Each mentor is being assigned well, a mentee from the school, from the current cohort, and they do meet sometimes every week when needed, sometimes every other week, and they go through you know, some either academic, you know, issues, either helping with something else, even the social part, and those students, the alumni, and we figured that they have a pretty unique and experience in that. It's something that, you know, really more relevant for our students, and it's really different rather than grown up like person, school staff person is doing that, versus the actual person close to their age having the same experience as they're having right now. They used to have the same classes. They used to live in the same chateau for the on-site session. They used to travel back and forth. They used to have the same online classes. So it's really something that they can share. But one person is already a graduate, so they already succeeded in that. So this is something really special. And currently, what amazes me is the dedication of all those alumni who are there, really spending their time and energy with the students, like really writing a huge comments on like how can we help each of those students, what they found out. And it actually really helps. Like this is something like their vision sometimes really provides super useful, you know, feedback and information. So this is something we do. And we also we always welcome graduates, people who were part of school on site. They come to the graduation this year. We're hoping that many people will be able to come in June to the graduation, and all kind of other things. So there are multiple opportunities for them to participate, like multiple ways for them to participate in the school life. And one of those actually, and that would be my question back to you, can maybe you give a comment about that? So one of that is one of our graduates is currently running a math club for the school.
Yeah.
Can you make a comment about that? Because it's the same topic.
Sure. We are hoping to make a separate, maybe live stream or just an interview with this person. So his name is Daniel, and he comes from the very first year of Sallay's existence, and he is one of the very first wave of graduates of alumni. And so Daniel was a very strong, has always been a very strong math student when he was back with us, and then he went to international school in Budapest, where he lives, continuing to be a very strong student, and then he decided at some point that he wants to do math and wants to be a math teacher. And so he had some experience, he was getting some experience here and there teaching math to different kids and teenagers. And then we had a bunch of people at Sallay who wanted to do more math than we regularly do. They wanted to do extracurricular math, they wanted to do Olympic math, they wanted to participate in math contests. And we gathered students from both schools, so from Sallay Academy and from Sallay Dialogue, which is the bilingual branch of ours. And we asked them all who wanted to join. We gathered a group of students who matched level-wise and time slot-wise and like logistics-wise. And we invited Daniel to run a club for them, which he does every Saturday from now on. And actual math teachers, are helping him in that and guiding him and sometimes quite often come to the club and run the club with him. But it is definitely an alumnus-led club, an alumnus-run club. Teachers might come, they might not, they might be prepared, they might not, they might know these specific students, they might not. Daniel knows them all. He keeps in mind what he's doing with whom. He manages to differentiate math problems in a way it would work for everybody, although there is some age difference. And I think he does it well, with grace, and I absolutely admire him in that. So yeah, that's
This is
that's the math
something,
club.
this is amazing, and we do welcome those, you know, those work, like those things that people can give, like people can still, you know, do in the school, and that can be a platform for them to run it. We also, for some universities in some countries, something that you submit to enter the university is a list of your, you know, volunteering and community service experiences. So this is something that we also provide, and this is a chance, a place for them to get a lot of volunteering and community service experience, because this is something you really do well, helping us, you know, serving this community. So we do write those, you know, letters and papers for the students as well, so they find it pretty useful.
Yeah, I recently accidentally popped up, like came across Daniel's mom, and she told me that it is very important to her, and very like important in a good way, and she's very pleased that we still care about her son so many years after his graduation, and still help him find his way in life and help him learn what he wants to learn and practice what he needs to practice, and give him opportunities and look at him and care for him, although he graduated many years ago. And this is generally what we try to do. So I would say, yeah. Here should come some fancy slogan like once at Les Sallay, always at Les Sallay, or something like this.
Something like that.
You come up with those.
A less lay person is always a less lay person.
Yes.
Which is true. I mean, they do have a shared experience. Even doesn't matter if you graduated, you know, 4 years ago or just recently. They do have a huge shared experience.
True, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're good. So, that was the final and the fourth day of our open house. We've tried to cover briefly the main aspects of the school life, the mission, values, and just ideas behind the school, the campus of ours, the academic part, and the social, you know, community part. Feel free to, if you have any questions that were really brief, you know, presentations, but if you have any other questions, any further questions, feel free to reach out to us, even if that's a tiny question. We actually just received one about a student. The person is asking if a student can join a school if they're turning 10 in September. Can they still
Possibly.
start?
I would say possibly. Let's meet this person. Let's talk to them. Let's talk to them and see. We like technically, yes, they can. Practically, it's more of a question. Do you think your kid is what ready to spend 3 weeks on site all alone? If that's the kind of a kid who has big experience going to summer camps or stuff like that, sure, absolutely, no reasons why not. If that's a person who doesn't have that much experience but is somewhat courageous and not afraid of being homesick, we're taking it as well. So yeah, I mean, let's meet this the potential student.
Yeah. Really depends on the personality. We would love to accept students starting from the age of 10, even turning 10 in September, but it would really depend on the student's personality if they can actually thrive there. Yeah. So feel free to, we are currently in the middle of our, admissions season. So we're scheduling interviews with potential students who are going to join us next year. We have a couple slots open this year for the students. So we have a tentative possibility to join us this year till the end of the year. We would really need to, though, go through an interview and make sure you would fit the existing, groups. But starting from the next year, this is the season to apply. This is the season to send in all your forms and schedule all the interviews with us.
Yes.
Thank you all.
Thank you all for coming, and let's stay in touch.